Oh my gosh, you can finally listen to Nintendo Music wherever you want, anywhere you want, officially. Oh my goodness, Nintendo Music. Nintendo just revealed, in case you missed it, because it's just been a couple hours, an hour at best since this has been revealed, and I have a bunch of notes here of stuff I want to talk about after using the app for a little bit and going over everything. But oh my goodness, Nintendo just revealed the absolute biggest announcement of the year, and it is insane. This is absolutely crazy. I am just so freaking excited. I can't believe this is happening. So buckle up, everybody. I'm going to go over the details of this app, everything you need to know about Nintendo Music and this incredible app that is available for both iOS and Android. And both of those links are available in the description, so don't worry, I got you covered. So make sure you subscribe, like today's video if you enjoy the content, click the bell, join my membership program, all that amazing stuff. Thank you so much for watching. You're the best. Let's get into this video. Okay, so as I kind of already alluded to, this is easily the biggest thing Nintendo has done this year. Yes, I know that is a tall order because Nintendo has done amazing things this year. They literally announced the Switch 2's existence and that it would be revealed within this fiscal year. They had announced a new museum, about a new movie. They did a million things this year. They brought back Mario and Luigi. I get it. Why am I saying that this is the biggest thing they've done this year? Well, first, I want you to think about how much work this was. They will be adding more music in the future. So literally now we have Alarm Clock DLC with Alarmo, and now we have Music App DLC. It's just hilarious. Nintendo can make DLC out of anything, but presumably every single first-party track will be on this when everything is said and done. And that is so much music that they had to rip from all of these different game files and put onto the app. It is ridiculous. Why do I think this is so big? Because it is such a massive mindset shift for Nintendo. From allowing YouTubers to make content to allegedly adding dedicated servers with the new playtesting service that people have been doing lately with the online, and it's fixing our online gripes, and just now this. It's incredible. It truly feels like they are actually listening to us now and are working to make things as easy as possible for us to consume their products. And it's also just massive because, oh my goodness, this has been such a problem for years. This has been one of those things where Nintendo has just dragged their feet and people have complained so much about this for such a long time. Music channels on YouTube, literally, channels like Gilvasunner, I believe his name is, his channel got absolutely struck down. And that's because all of these YouTubers, they ripped music from these games, put it onto YouTube because Nintendo wasn't doing it themselves for people to just enjoy Nintendo music. And now we don't have to worry about that. We don't have to worry about these channels getting struck down, about people complaining for years and years about having no way besides physical media, or like in Smash Bros. Ultimate case where they literally put every single game or track music on the app, and like you could do it through the Switch, but no one was going to carry their Switch with them just to listen to Smash Brothers music. Like, that was ridiculous. And it was only the Smash Brothers game. Now it's like every game you could ever imagine, and it's incredible. I mean, if you really think about it, prior to this, the only way you could truly listen to Nintendo music, like officially, was literally listening to whatever DVD they gave you on special editions to these games. And obviously not every first-party game gets a special edition with a DVD player. And guess what? DVDs are so outdated and almost no one uses them anymore. And I wouldn't be surprised if half the people listening to this didn't even know what a DVD was. So yes, it's incredible for me and for Nintendo and for everyone else to finally bring all of their music onto one platform that everyone can enjoy and use. And it is incredible. Like, I cannot stress to you how important this is, how big of a mindset shift this is for Nintendo. I mean, it truly felt in some of those Wii U days back in like the early internet stuff where they just like were scared of the internet. It was like they were terrified. I mean, it took forever for them to make their own YouTube account, for heaven's sake. They started using Nintendo Direct, sure, they pioneered the way for revealing stuff online, and they make such great use of online stuff now, but man, they did not. They were so behind, and they truly have made an entire 180. This is absolutely incredible. That leads to my next point, which is just the IP expansion movement that they are making right now. Nintendo, throughout the Wii U era, what was their biggest problem? their console was a failure, and when their console was a failure, they were a failure. Iwata had to totally cut his own salary just to make do, just to pay all of his workers the exact amount that he needed to pay them, and that is legendary, by the way. Rest in peace, Satoru Iwata. He was an amazing president, but he did so many incredible things just for that company to keep on its last leg, because they truly were on their last leg, and the Switch was everything that they had left. That was it. They were on their very final chance. Their last straw was the Switch, and that was just insane, because you look at it now and they've learned from their mistakes. They have learned you need to make a console that makes sense. You need to market it well, not have a dumb gimmick, make it accessible, and give amazing games on it. And once that happened and people started buying it in droves, and now we're over 130 some million units sold on the Switch, people love these IPs. And what they need to do, and what they have been doing from the business side of things, is making people love these characters and these IPs outside of the game industry. So that way, people can continue to go back to their games, of course, and that's going to be their primary source of entertainment and all of that, but they're going to continue to make fans out of people who go to the theaters to watch these Mario movies. They're going to make fans out of people who buy these alarm clocks, out of people who go to the museums or go to the theme parks. They're integrating these characters, these IPs, all of these things into everyone's daily lifestyle. They're making people think about Nintendo outside of just playing video games. And that is huge, because what was happening back in 2015, 2016, those horrible Wii U years where no one cared about Nintendo and the brand was dead. What happened? No one cared. No one talked about Nintendo. And that stigma still is in some of those children who grew up during that generation and didn't have a Nintendo console, who doesn't know anything about Nintendo. Now they know. Now those kids are growing up, they're playing Nintendo, and it's amazing to see, because I love Nintendo and I've grown up with all of these different IPs and all of these games. I just want them to succeed, and I see them and they're making good business decisions that are actually helping their consumers, that are making our lives better. They're not being a scummy company like EA and all of these horrible things where they're just taking all these studios away and firing people left and right and making awful loot box filled games that no one wants to play. Buggy messes released on day one. No, Nintendo's different. They treat their employees right. They don't crunch their employees anymore. They have built an amazing culture, and it is incredible. And I've said that a million times, but I'm just so excited, because if you were there in those Wii U days, you know how dark things were for Nintendo. And I didn't know if it was going to go bankrupt or if they were going to have to go third party or what. And to see the turnaround, man, this is the golden age. It truly is. The Wii was not the golden age. This is the golden age of Nintendo, and to see them do all of this insane stuff. And also, this could be its whole video, and they haven't really done a whole lot about this yet, but they created an animation studios. I believe it's called Nintendo Pictures. And so they're making movies, and they confirmed a live-action Zelda movie, but I wouldn't be surprised if very soon we see TV shows or different types of anime, perhaps, or animated shows that it reinforces all of these IPs into people's brains. Because guess what happens? The Mario movie was a massive success, over $1 billion sold. I think it's in the top 10, maybe even top 5 animated movies of all time in terms of grossing. And oh my goodness, how many people do you think watched that movie and then were like, hey, my mom, my dad, someone, please, I want to play these games. I want to buy a Switch. And how many people went to the theaters and that happened? Nintendo is so smart now. They are, if their next console fails, if somehow the Switch 2 fails, they're going to have a lot more opportunities, a lot more resources to bring all of that money back in certain ways. So that way, if they have an awful failure on their hands, they can recoup, they can reset, and they can absolutely recover. And I think the theme of this is that they're just making it easy for us. They're making it easy for people to consume Nintendo products. Because before, people would just complain and they'd be like, literally, I just want to give you my money. I will give you my money. And people would have paid so much money for an app like this. They would have paid so much, but they're giving it to us pretty much free of price for a lot of Switch owners. And I'll get to that in a little bit. But for now, I just want to say how incredibly important this is. And it's just amazing to see. Okay, so now let me talk about how you get this app. Anyone can download it. You can download it on your Android or Apple phone or whatever the heck you have, and it will be on your phone for sure. But you have to have a Nintendo Switch Online membership to use the app. So, number one, let me say how incredibly valuable this now makes the NSO account. For them to not even put this on the expansion pass tier, but just to put it on the regular tier is amazing. How many people do you think, if I had gone back in time and I had said, hey, Nintendo's going to make a music app called Nintendo Music, and they are going to let you listen to all of these amazing tracks, but it's tied to NSO, I am almost 1000% confident that you would have said, oh, it had to have been a part of the expansion pass because Nintendo is so greedy and they're corporate and blah. I honestly, this is the best deal in my opinion, because they could have just done like a one-time $20 price point for this and people would have bought it anyways. And honestly, they could have even released the app as totally free and then charged like 20 cents per song or something like that, and people would have thought it was greedy as well, because that's a lot of money you'd spend. It's kind of virtual console style of just skimming through what the heck you want and then buying specific tracks. But they tied it into the Switch Online service, and I think that is actually a really good deal for us Switch owners, particularly because 99%, like there's some actual statistic out there that shows how many Switch owners have Switch Online, but this, I mean, honestly, a ton of Switch owners have Switch Online already, so this is essentially free to you, like it is to me, because I've been paying for Switch Online since 2018, since the service came out, because I just want to play my games online, so I already have it. So this is just an extra bonus, and it's so smart on the business side of things for them, because they're adding value to the service. They're going to make more people buy this now. Even if you don't have any interest on playing online, you get to listen to all of this music for $20 per year. 365 full days of Nintendo music, as much of it as you can possibly consume, 24 hours a day if you wish, 365 days a year. Simply $20. That is incredible. That is a heck of a deal in my opinion. And because of this, there are no ads, no interruptions of any kind. And that is a phenomenal upgrade from all of the other platforms this could have been on. They could have put it on Spotify, but a lot of people don't buy premium on that. And guess what? They could have put it on YouTube, but there would have been ads for that as well. This is simply an app just specifically for music and Nintendo Music, and they made it, it's their own platform, so they can do whatever the heck they want with it. That is just so smart. It's the best for us as well. Some people might say, what the heck, I gotta pay $20 a year for this, and once my subscription's gone, my account's gone. That's not true. I assume the way it would work is if your Switch Online runs out, you would just have to renew it, and your save file would just be there, and you could use all of the stuff that you had already set up, all your playlists, etc. would just be there. So it's an immense amount of value. This is immensely useful to the consumer. I promise you, this is the best way they could have done this. It is a Nintendo-only app. You don't have to worry about ads. You don't have to worry about all of these third parties. It's directly from Nintendo. Gone are the days of YouTube playlists, waiting for your ads to be done, hoping that the songs that you picked from these different channels don't get completely obliterated off the face of the planet from your playlist because Nintendo copyright striked the heck out of whoever's poor soul decided their channel was going to be entirely Nintendo Music. Gone are those days. You do not, this is a little transition here, you do not have to have a Switch to use this app. So Nintendo fans who just love Nintendo Music and haven't gotten around to buying a Switch yet, which I don't think, if you're watching this video, you don't have a Switch, but hey, that's just, if you want to know, you don't have to have a Switch to have this app. You just have to have a Nintendo Switch Online membership and a Nintendo account, which is obviously free to set up. And if you split the cost, like a million people have done this to where you get a family plan and you split it, the online service amongst all of these different people, like I think it's up to 8 people, all 8 of you who have that family plan, who split it and have all paid just like a barely amount of any money throughout the month, you get this online subscription and the app totally free. All 8 of you. So any of you, that's amazing to me, by the way. I can't even imagine how much money Nintendo must be losing. I mean, obviously they're not losing anything because this is a new app and they're only standing to gain from it, but just from a greedy side of things, people always call Nintendo greedy. This is not greedy. For them to do this, it is not greedy because you can have 8 people on a family plan and all 8 of you get this Nintendo app completely free as a perk of having Nintendo Switch Online. That is incredible. And the final thing is you can also use this app as a part of the free trial. So if you have some method right now where you have perhaps downloaded or ripped off all these files onto your phone and you just already have a certain playlist of Nintendo music and you don't really want to spend $20 or however the minimum would be, you can get a free trial for a Switch Online subscription, and this would be a part of that. You could test out the music app and everything else with Switch Online, and you get that for free. So if you just think you aren't sure if this is going to be worth the price or if you don't want it, you can check it out for free, see if you like it, and if you don't, then don't worry about it. You can always cancel and move on with your life. Now into the actual app itself. It is amazing. It is amazing. I have tested this app out over the past hour while I was scrambling to put my notes together and scrambling to make this video. It is so great. And the only critique I have is you can extend tracks. So like if there is a 2-minute track or a 1-minute track of, let's say I'm listening to Coconut Mall and I want to extend that track, you can do it to 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or an hour, and it will just continue to play for that amount of time. And of course you can loop every single song, but if you loop, for example, a Breath of the Wild song, it's going to come to an end, it's going to fade out, and then it's going to start over again. So kind of like how YouTube loops work, it just ends and then you go back to the beginning after a short period of loading. It's like a half second. But the thing that annoys me, and this is really nitpicky, is you can't extend every single track to where it just constantly plays for that amount of minutes that you picked. It's only a certain amount of tracks, which is insane to me because I really want to listen to some different themes, like I believe it's the galloping theme in Breath of the Wild, like that amazing, beautiful music track of just the piano, and it's beautiful, and I can't extend it. I can only loop it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I hate that. But of course, I understand why they would do that. It's understandable. It takes so much work to loop every single song into a seamless transition. So I get it, and obviously you can still loop it as many times as you want. It will just have to come to an end for a half second and then restart. It's not going to be a seamless continuation for however much time that you set it for. So I'm not complaining too much about it, but yes, it is not able to be completely extended. The other thing is that this app is just completely charming. It is oozing with that amazing Nintendo charm, and they put so much thought and care into this, as they do with all their products. It is incredibly charming because there are art pieces that correspond with each song. They put so much thought into this. They even put spoiler alerts to where you can just go into the settings, you can pick a specific game, and it blocks music that it thinks might spoil you. So like any sort of plot point or final boss music that might give away something in a game you're currently playing. I can envision in the future they might release a music alongside of a game and be like, hey, download the app, get the Nintendo NSO service, and then you can get the music for this new game that you're playing. So maybe a really big game drops and you didn't finish it yet, but you want to listen to the music. You can press the spoiler tab and not even have to worry about being spoiled by your own music app. And that is just such a thoughtful piece of thing on this app that I never ever would have considered that Nintendo did consider. And that is what I love about them. They don't just listen to people and go, oh, they've been wanting music, hurry, put it on YouTube. They really thought through this. They truly believed that they could do it better, and they considered every single way, every single strategy, and they made a better way. You can also toggle in the settings whether or not you want to have the highest sound quality depending on where you are. So it's automatically set to the highest sound quality over Wi-Fi, but over cellular it's automatically set to a balance mode. And if you're worried about being on the go and you have limited data, you can just turn it on to low quality or just keep it on balance if you're worried about using too much data. Again, one of those things where it's like, man, I never would have thought of that, but it's such a useful feature, and options are always a good thing, so heck yeah. And yes, you can listen to all of these tracks with your phone locked. It does not have to be open. The app does not have to be open 24/7 for it to work like some things, YouTube, but this can be open in the background and you can just be scrolling through whatever you want and it will do its job, and that is incredible. Similar to Spotify, that is just an amazing feature as well. You can also download every single track directly to your phone, barring phone storage, of course. So that way you don't have to worry about being on a plane with no Wi-Fi or on a road trip with no cellular connection. Just download whatever the heck you want and listen no matter where you are. It just continues to go with that Switch theme of anywhere, anytime, play how you want now, listen however you want. And that is just so thoughtful of Nintendo to have done this. So download, listen, no matter where you are. It's amazing. And also, it has a listening history function. So maybe you clicked through a million songs on some randomly generated playlist, and later you want to find the one song that got stuck in your head, because how many times has that happened where you're just listening to new songs and you're like, these are okay. And then later on the day, you're like humming one in particular, but you have no idea what it's called, or in this case, what game it would be from. This has you covered. You just go through the history and boom, you will eventually find it because it will be in your listening history. And of course, like any music app, you can make up your own playlist. You can select your favorites, queue up a bunch of songs, but it also has pre-existing playlists that match your mood. They have like a hype playlist where it's like power up, a calm one, a sleepy one, a walking one, a running one. And then they also have like different themed playlists, like boss music. They put a whole bunch of boss tracks into one thing. They put title themes, like the beginning music for all these games, into one theme or playlist. They put victory music, new adventures, and they're going to have so many more options to come in the future, and already have so many other options now. Another type of option for playlists is like a preset playlist of characters. So you would click on, for example, Rosalina, and that would bring up songs related to her. So for example, like the Comet Observatory from Super Mario Galaxy, and all of these different Super Mario Galaxy songs, and then Rosalina's Ice World from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and any other future Rosalina themed song will go into this playlist once it becomes available on the app. And that's just really cool, because there's also like a Cappy. There are a bunch of different characters that they already have. They have Sheik on here, King Dedede, Pikmin, Meta Knight. They have Pokemon characters out the gills, Mipha, Ganondorf, Zelda, Rivali. They have amazing selections already on here, with many, many more to come. And this is just a genius marketing strategy, once again, to get people interested in these characters, in the music related to them, and then eventually to buy these games that are related to these characters. Because what in the world, like imagine there's a kid or a teenager or anyone who has been like, you know what, I've heard a lot about this character, let me listen to some of these tracks, and you're like, dang, I love this song, I love these songs, I want to buy the game that these songs are related to. That is going to happen to so many people, and it's going to be just another resource that Nintendo can use to market these games. Now, on the surface, it looks like out the gate, like just at this very first version of the app, it has music out the gills, and that is absolutely true. There are so many tracks on here. I wouldn't be surprised if there are already over 1,000 tracks, but there aren't as many as I would have expected out the gate, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, there are so many different games, but I just found myself slightly disappointed because, for example, let me list you every platform that this app has already. You have NES, Game Boy, SNES, N64, Game Boy Advance, one GameCube song, two DS songs, two Wii songs, and then a bunch of Switch songs. So everything on the Switch part of this playlist is Pikmin 4, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Splatoon 3, Animal Crossing New Horizons, Kirby Star Allies, which is an interesting pick instead of Kirby 3D, The Forgotten Land, and then Super Mario Odyssey, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and Breath of the Wild. On the Wii, there's only Super Mario Galaxy, and then different Wii channel songs. There's Tomodachi Life and Nintendogs for the DS, Metroid Prime for the GameCube, Fire Emblem for the Game Boy Advance, Ocarina of Time, and Star Fox 64 for the N64. Then they have Super Mario World 2 instead of just the original one, which is odd, Donkey Kong Country for SNES, Kirby and Dr. Mario for Game Boy, and then finally for the NES they have Metroid and then Super Mario Bros. So there are so many games, and I understand how they're going to want to drag this out and make people interested and just garner a lot of marketing hype by releasing different games onto this platform. But I was a little disappointed that they didn't just have a whole bunch right out the gate. I was really looking forward to having some Xenoblade music on the go, so please bring it as fast as possible. But here are some of the confirmed games that they revealed in the trailer that are coming: Wii Sports, Mario 64, Skyward Sword, Splatoon 2, Wind Waker, Donkey Kong Country 2, and F-Zero X. So there are going to be many more games, and likely they are going to make this the destination for Nintendo music. Almost, I guarantee it. At some point, I don't know how far down the road it will be. Hopefully they don't trickle these out like they do on NSO. But I truly believe at some point, every single first-party Nintendo piece of music will be on this app. And that is just, oh man, it is a dream come true. It is absolutely amazing. So congrats to Nintendo, and this is just amazing. amazing thing that adds value to NSO, that adds value to the Nintendo brand, that's going to bring more eyes and ears now to the Nintendo sphere. And I am just so incredibly hyped up that this is finally happening. So please let me know down in the comments, what are your thoughts on the Nintendo Music app? Are you going to download it? Is it going to convince you, if you haven't already, to buy the NSO app and just be able to go ahead and play Switch Online games? If you don't have a Switch, I'm interested. Are you interested in paying $20 a year specifically for this app? Is that something you're available or interested in? Let me know down in the comments. All of that and more below. Make sure to like and subscribe today's video if you enjoyed the content. Like I said earlier, join my membership program if you want early access to all my videos. I appreciate your support. I love you so much. I hope you have a phenomenal day. This has been Ray's Nintendo Talk. I have been Ray, and I will see y'all in the next video.